Hey, I'm Steve Post of Wing Nation, and this is our Dryden Salute to Champions. 305 racing has been part of sprint car racing for years and years, and really the history is somewhat murky on how it all came together. There was a guy, I know this, in Virginia by the name of French Grimes. He was an engine builder, and he put together a very cost-effective system of not only building and maintaining cars, but overall purses and structure of sprint cars that was very, very cost efficient for his Virginia Sprint Series. Those rules were adopted and adapted. Somewhere along the way, IMCA came in and kind of partnered up with French Grimes, and we have what is now the IMCA Racesaver 305 Sprints. And when we look at the 2021 season, they raced 305 IMCA Racesaver sprint cars in 20 states: California, Iowa, Indiana, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maryland, Minnesota, Missouri, North Carolina, North Dakota, Nebraska, New Jersey, Ohio, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, South Dakota, and Virginia. So a lot of 305 races this year. And when it was done, it was Justin Clark from Ohio that was the national champion. After he wrapped up the national championship with an exclamation point on a big win at Port Royal, he joined Aaron Evernham and I on Wing Nation. And here's that interview as our Dryden Salute to Champions.
Pride.
Passion.
Performance.
We are.
We are Team Dryden.
Last Tuesday night, as a matter of fact, I was up at KKR, Casey Kane Racing.
Yep.
I was talking to the McLean brothers, and Jake and Brandon, and up walks this guy, and Jake says, "This is the national champ for the IMCA, Justin Clark." And so chit-chatted just a little bit. I was kind of in the mood and headed in another direction, so I didn't get a chance to double back and talk to him. So why not dial him up and talk to him right now on the Dryden hotline? So he joins us from up in Ohio. Hello, Justin. Welcome into Wing Nation.
Hey, Steve. Appreciate you guys having me.
Well, I'll tell you what. I guess just congratulations, and kind of describe to me the season you had with winning the IMCA Racesaver National Sprint Car Championship, the Ohio State Championship, the Ohio Thunder Series, the Indiana Series. 17 wins. You picked up the win at Port Royal this past weekend. Just kind of describe the season you had.
Man, let me tell you, it was a crazy year. I set out with 2 goals this year. We was going to try and run for the national points, and I've been trying to win for 4 years. We ran there I think 2 or 3 times this year, and I ran second in the Keystone race last year. We came this weekend and we set a goal, and we got it done. And then I've never really got emotional, but I got pretty emotional in Victory Lane Saturday. It was just pretty cool, and finally got the job done.
Justin, where does the emotion come from? I mean, a 17th win, all these championships. What is the backstory? How did you get into racing? Is it a family operation? Just tell us a little bit about really yourself.
I started racing in 2006. I raced go-karts from 2006 to 2018. I started through the sprint car deal in 2018 while I was trying to do the go-kart stuff still. But I decided I had to decide what I wanted to do because it was just too hard to do both. So I just committed in 2019 to go ahead and just follow the sprint car deal. But, it's a family-owned team, me and my mom and dad. We didn't really think we'd get this far. We were just doing it for fun. But it's carried a long way to where I started to where I'm at now. I really improved a lot. I think it was a lot as a driver this year. I was a lot more determined than I was in the past few years. But like I said, I set my goal, and I usually go for my goal. My goal for Port Royal this past weekend was top 5. I mean, I was going to win, but it's always nice to set a goal and be able to achieve it.
Your mom's video, I watched your mom's video from Port Royal. It was so awesome, and it's just neat to see your family and actually listen to her in as you're doing the cool down and going to the scales. I just thought that was awesome, and it's so neat. Justin, this 305 deal seems like to me, especially where you're at in Ohio, where you can go west to Indiana, you can go east to Pennsylvania, or you can race right there, and you can race right there, and you can race right there in Ohio. This seems to be a really good niche for you and your family team. Does it work well for you guys where you're at?
Yeah, yes and no. There's a lot of tracks around Ohio, but a lot of them don't run 305s.
Mm-hmm.
I mainly run in Indiana and then Pennsylvania. This year, I think we raced in 10 or 11 states, and we won in 6 different series. So, I mean, that was pretty cool. I mean, it's cool that it's as big as it is, as many series as there are. You can really choose wherever you want to go and race and still be able to run for a championship here and there and be able to hit races in between.
Justin, you talked about your driving and how you feel like you were a little bit more determined this year. The Racesavers series really puts a lot of focus on the drivers. You know, at least when I was a little bit involved with them, the cars were and motors were so close, or, you know, being that they're all sealed up, it takes, a lot of that part out of it. It's more on driving. Talk about Racesaver racing and how it is kind of different than other sprint car series because the rules are so restricted.
Yeah, I mean, it's the cheapest form of racing you can get into it. You don't really have to spend a fortune on a motor, it takes all the titanium rotating stuff out of it. So, I mean, that part's a lot cheaper on a person. But the nice thing is, I mean, you can go and race 2 or 3 nights a week and you're not spending a fortune to do it. But, you know, it's a good series. I'm glad that I've been able to do that for the past 4 years. And glad to have been able to meet all the people I've met and people that helped me along the way.
Your top 3 in points were you in Ohio, Marcus Thomas in Texas, and Garrett Bard over in Pennsylvania. I actually, in June, met Marcus Thomas. I was down at Devil's Bowl and met him, and he was already watching along. He said, the guy in Ohio is doing this. The guy in Pennsylvania is doing this. This one, there was another guy in Texas who was pretty good, too. At what point, Justin, during the season, were you starting to focus on some other guys, or did you just kind of keep your head down? Or how does that work when you're competing with people that you're not at the same track competing with?
Honestly, I felt like I was racing Marcus all year, and we just wasn't at the same track. I watched points every weekend, and I looked at results. I mean, as much as I can say I've raced against him, I really haven't. But at the same time, I followed him all year in points. I'm pretty sure I was second, the third, fourth in points all year. And when it came down to it, I knew he had lost his championship. I knew he couldn't get bonus points. So it came down to me winning my championship where I could get bonus points. And, when I knew I won my championship, it was nice to know. I mean, I wasn't really, it didn't really hit me until they announced that I had won it. But, like I said, Marcus, I mean, he done a hell of a job this year. And, kudos to him and Garrett. It takes a lot to be able to do what we do and run for national points. It takes a lot of traveling, and it takes a lot of people. And, I'm just appreciative for everyone that's helped me, and my mom and dad. I couldn't have done it without them. My dad sacrifices a lot. He doesn't get to go racing with me. He maybe goes 2 or 3 times a year, and a lot of times it's just me and mom go racing on the weekends, and you don't see that a lot.
Justin, along those same lines, how neat is it to be able to run for a national championship in a series like the Racesaver? You're kind of running a bit regionally, and you're competing with people across the country, but you get that recognition. That's really neat that Racesaver has that whole point system.
Yeah, I mean, it's really cool. I mean, their point system, I mean, it's pretty simple. You take your best 20 finishes of your first 40 starts. It doesn't mean you have to run the specific series to do it. I mean, but you do get the bonus points if you run the series and get bonus points. But, I mean, you can run anywhere across the country and still run for national points at any racetrack as long as it's sanctioned.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you came down to Fayetteville and finished 3rd and 1st against our local boys here, the Carolina Sprint Tour, earlier this year. So I really am fascinated by the whole program, and I love to see so many people getting a chance to race sprint cars. and get whether get involved in sprint cars or find a nice home where it's a series where you can run and travel around and do it just a little bit. Justin, you mentioned at the top, and we've kind of glossed a little bit over this. You talked about getting emotional with Port Royal. I find it fascinating that you had two goals this year. One was a national championship, and one was winning at a track that's 6 or 8 hours from your home, I would guess, whatever it is. Why was Port Royal on that 2-item bucket list for this season?
Well, I mean, my theory is Indiana has the toughest race cars to race against, and so does Port Royal. I've came close. I think I ran second 2 or 3 times at Port Royal. But, I think that's their Keystone race is just almost as big as the Nationals at Eagle. If you can win that, it's pretty cool. And I think it's pretty, it's this cool deal to be able to win at Port Royal because there's so many cars. I mean, there was 68 cars there, and, I beat 67 of the best Pennsylvania's got. And, it's just, you don't see that a lot. I mean, a lot of, they call it the PA posse, and it's cool to come over and beat the 305 PA posse. So it's just cool. And, it's just like I say, kudos out to everyone at Port Royal and proud to work. They put on an absolutely amazing race, and it was just a good year, and it was just a good way to cap it off.
Finally, and I referenced this earlier on, last Tuesday, Casey Kane Racing here in Mooresville, North Carolina, they do a flea market for all of the local racers. And Justin Adams comes and actually they did a Q&A session with Justin Adams. It was spectacular. It was really good. Justin, just your thought on as a young sprint car racer to get the opportunity to walk into the KKR shop, to see what the shop looks like, because it's beautiful, to talk to fellow racers. What was that like for you?
I've been around the NASCAR shops and stuff, but I've never really been around a big sprint car shop, like the Resort of Outlaws. So I mean, it was just cool to see exactly what goes on, and how the car's sitting there, and all the people that are getting everything ready. It was a cool experience to get to go down there and see everything and pick up a few stuff. And like I said, it was cool, and it's really nice that they allow us lower teams or whoever to come in their shop and look at it. And, it's just really nice. And like a big shout out to Justin and Casey for allowing us to do that.
It was neat. It really was. Fun stuff for sure, and fun stuff following you all season long. Justin, congratulations on the great season, all of the championships, all of the wins, including that big one at the end. And we appreciate you taking some time out and joining us here today on Wing Nation.
All right, I appreciate it, Steve, and hopefully I can release some news for next year as to what I'm going to do, and I'm excited for that.
Cool. What can you tell us what you're going to do? Are we dropping news here?
Well, I guess I can go ahead and drop it. I've had the amazing opportunity this year. I got to drive Ryan Prosser. I got to drive his 410 a couple times this year, and he texted me. We stayed in contact since then, and he texted me and said he wants me to drive his car full time next year, and we're going to follow the Fast Series, Fast on Dirt, and we'll see where that goes. And I'm sure I'll still race my stuff here and there to keep fresh in the seat. But I'm pretty excited for that, and see what we can do.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Wow, man, I got chills. That's fantastic. Wow. Justin, I appreciate you dropping that on us. And I just think that's fantastic. Mm-hmm. Congratulations on that. Enjoy all the championship celebrations. Enjoy the off season. And man, this is awesome. Congratulations again. But thanks for joining us here on Wing Nation.
Thank you, Steve.
Pride. Passion.
Performance.
We are Team Dryden.
Justin did have 16 wins in IMCA racing. I think 17 overall. He won in 5 different states. His big series was the Ohio Thunder Sprint Series. He won 10 times there. He was also the champion in the Indiana Racesavers Sprint Series, but also won on the Allegheny Sprint Tour, the Laurel Highland Sprint Tour, and the Carolina Sprint Tour. What a season for Justin Clark. And when we look at the final tally of the IMCA 305 Racesaver points, Justin Clark from Hammersville, Ohio was the champion. Marcus Thomas from Corsicana, Texas finished second. Garrett Bard from Wells Tannery, Pennsylvania was third. Fourth was Lincoln, Nebraska driver Stuart Snyder, and Trevor Service from Olivia, Minnesota finished fifth. What a great season for the IMCA Racesaver 305 sprints, and it was fun catching up with their champion Justin Clark earlier on Wing Nation. We appreciate you joining us. This is a Dryden Salute to Champions. I'm Steve Post from Wing Nation. Thanks for joining us again here on the show.